Hey guys, welcome back to Wishbee. Itzy, a name pretty much every K-pop fan is familiar with. Or so I thought. So, it surprised me to realize that many newer and younger K-pop fans aren't fully aware of the impact that Itzy had on the industry. That's why I wanted to talk about what exactly went wrong for Itzy and why they went from being fourth gen girls to now an almost forgotten group in mainstream K-pop. Itzy made their highly anticipated debut under JYP Entertainment in 2019 with the song Dalla Dalla. The group's debut was highly anticipated for many reasons. First, of course, because they are from JYP and were the first girl group to debut after Twice, who were considered the nation's girl group at that time. Second, because they had members like Yuna, Ryujin, Yeji, and Chaeryeong who already had their own fan bases thanks to their pre-debut activities. Chaeryeong, who was a part of 16, the show that formed Twice. Yeji, who participated in SBS's reality competition show, The Fan. Ryujin, who started out as a part of Mix 9, another survival reality show, plus her appearance in BTS's Love Yourself highlight reel, along with Yuna. The group was also supposed to debut with Jun Somi until she left JYP. So, as you can see, there were multiple factors as to why the group had so many eyes on them, especially since they also debuted at the start of the fourth generation of K-pop. All of this anticipation and an already existing smaller fan base definitely added to the group's hype. And finally, on February 12th, 2019, Itzy made their debut with Dalla Dalla. The song initially received a lot of mixed reactions, but very quickly started to attract more and more people and became a huge hit. To this day, Dalla Dalla is considered one of the best K-pop debut songs. Itzy also debuted at the peak of K-pop's hype overseas, which resulted in the group gaining a massive international fan base as well. The members were praised for their on-stage chemistry and their amazing performance skills. Next thing you know, Itzy was everywhere. On variety shows, award shows, red carpet events, everywhere. And it didn't take long before the group became a household name. The group's dynamic and their likability were hard to ignore. They followed Dalla Dalla with a successful comeback with Icy, and followed Icy with another super hit comeback with Wannabe in 2020. Wannabe was one of the biggest songs of that year, and the opening choreography of the song became a trend that many followed. It seemed like Itzy was unstoppable and on their way to creating a legendary and iconic path for themselves. So, what exactly went wrong, and why did they go from fourth gens, girls, to now an almost forgotten group? Yes, the group still has a very loyal fan base, but compared to the way they started out, the group has lost significant hype and fans. In my opinion, it all started with their songs Not Shy and Mafia in the Morning, both of which received a lot of divided opinions. Itzy had always had a very experimental sound, as evident in their debut and then their follow-up, Icy. Wannabe, in comparison, was less experimental, but it still had that Itzy touch. So why did Not Shy and Mafia receive so much backlash? Well, that's the risk that comes with experimental songs. It's not always going to be everyone's cup of tea. Also, because releasing Not Shy and Mafia right after a super hit song like Wannabe felt too underwhelming and failed to maintain the hype that Wannabe created. But even then, Itzy won a lot of people over with the live performances of their songs, just like they always did. There's a reason why, for the longest time, Itzy were considered the standard of live performances for fourth-gen idols. One of the biggest reasons for Itzy's hype dying down is the fact that JYP just failed to keep up with the rest of fourth gen. Itzy debuted at the very start of fourth gen, when there wasn't any notable competition for them. It was easy for them to make a place for themselves in the industry. But as soon as more fourth gen groups started to debut, like aespa, IVE, and Lee Seraphim, all of whom had very strong identities, concepts, and hype. In this new wave of girl groups, where they were debuting with very successful songs like IVE with 11, aespa, though Black Mamba was their debut, Next Level really took them to a next level of success, and Lee Seraphim with Fearless. Itzy sort of failed to stand out. Not just because of their songs, but because JYP just refused to take their fans' criticism regarding their music and their promotions. And with groups like Lee Seraphim, who were praised for their strong stage presence, Itzy sort of got sidelined. If you go back and look at Itzy's discography, you will see a significant decline in the quality of their title tracks and pre-releases after Wannabe, with a string of songs like Not Shy, Sneakers, Boys Like You, and Cake. Sneakers felt like the final nail in the coffin for some fans, underwhelming enough that people just moved on. I am not saying that these songs are bad by any means, but for Itzy's standards, they are very underwhelming. And as we know, in the fast-paced world of K-pop, fans very easily move on to the next best thing if you keep disappointing them. And a lot of Itzy fans felt disappointed with the direction JYP was taking Itzy in, so they all just moved on. Even now that Itzy came back with Gold and Imaginary Friend, the latter of which, in my opinion, is one of their finer works, it's still underperformed in comparison. Yes, Itzy still has a very loyal fan base, but their mainstream hype has died down. The real question is, will they ever be able to get back the hype and success that they used to? Well, the answer is uncertain. We have seen groups like Brave Girls get their due after years, or G-Idol, who were able to bounce back with a bang after a devastating experience as a group. But at the same time, we have also seen groups who just exist, without going up or down. Maybe if JYP changes their marketing tactics with Itzy and gives them a song so good, it would be hard to ignore. And with Itzy set to make a comeback soon, who knows? Maybe a miracle will happen. But for now, it seems like Itzy had their time where they were the center of attention and had the spotlight all to themselves, and now there are other groups who have taken that spot. But one thing will always remain sure, a lot of K-pop fans still have a soft spot for Itzy. They are likable, good performers, unproblematic. The only problem seems to be their company, who also seems to have sort of given up on promoting them according to the newer standards of the K-pop industry, and the lackluster way JYP has handled them as a group in recent years. Whatever happens, one thing is for sure. The impact that Itzy created on the 4th gen will never be forgotten or ignored. And that's it for this video, guys. What do you think was the reason why Itzy fell behind? Share with me in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you stayed till the end, I really appreciate you watching, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.